5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Turning trauma into action.
They were threats to my life. They were threats of rape, and they were very detailed and very disturbing.
Targeted by an online stalker, the survivor leading a new task force and sending a powerful message.
We enjoyed a nice taste of fall this weekend, but big changes are on the way. Today's high was 80 degrees. We're going to head towards the average of 90. I've got your latest forecast coming up.
Midnight strike. In just 2 hours, thousands of Boeing workers in the St. Louis area will walk off the job. The sticking points and the stakes. The deadline is midnight. That's when thousands of Boeing workers will walk off the job here in St. Louis. It's a strike that could impact critical operations at one of the region's largest employers. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. At stake, pay raises, benefits, and job security for one of the region's most powerful unions. And it comes after workers voted to reject the latest contract proposal earlier today. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is in studio now to break down what we know.
Mike, this strike will be the first one by Boeing workers in the area since 1996, and representatives tell me they are ready to hit the pavement at midnight. On Sunday, about 3,200 members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers District 837 voted to reject the latest 4-year contract with Boeing. They rejected the last proposal just 1 week ago. These workers in St. Louis, St. Charles, and Mascoutah assemble and maintain advanced aircraft and weapons systems for the company, including fighter jets and other missile and defense technologies. Dan Gillian from Boeing said in a statement, "We're disappointed our employees rejected an offer that featured 40% average wage growth and resolved their primary issue on alternative work schedules. We're prepared for a strike and have fully implemented our contingency plan to ensure our non-striking workforce can continue supporting our customers." The latest contract also included a 20% general wage increase. Jody Bennett with the union said in a statement, "Solidarity is our strength. This vote shows that when workers stand together, they can push back against corporate greed and fight for a better future for themselves and their families. We're proud to back our members every step of the way." Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal say workers want better health insurance and more vacation time, along with other wage-related requests. And now that they've rejected this contract, they'll begin their strike as we begin a new week. The union's international president, Brian Bryant, said in a statement, "Our union is built on democracy and our members have every right to demand a contract worthy of their contributions. We'll be there on the picket lines ensuring Boeing hears the collective power of working people." Both Boeing and union representatives were unavailable for interviews today, and right now it's unclear how long the strike will last.
Well, we had a beautiful weekend after a long stretch of brutally hot days, but it looks like our taste of autumn was just that, a taste. Meteorologist Lance Blocker is in the Weather Impact Weather Center.
Yeah, but it was nice, though, for the first start of August. Though, right?
Sure was.
Absolutely. Well, we got one more day of it, so we're excited about that. But drier air, cooler air still in place for us here this evening. Let's go and check out the regional satellite radar composite. See some decaying showers off to our west. Wish we could see some of that into our area after a stretch of dry weather here as well, but it's very dry at the surface, so any of that moisture moving into the area is likely to evaporate, so don't expect to see any showers out of that. We do expect to see the cloud cover continue to hold on overnight tonight. You'll see that through the day tomorrow as well. Temperatures still very comfortable today. Highs right around 80 degrees. We should be at 90 this time of year, so a welcome break, of course, from that heat. Right now, currents show 72 degrees, feels like 72 as well. Dew point comfortable 60 degrees. That's, again, drier air for us, and that'll be in place somewhat tomorrow, but we'll start to see that tick up over the days ahead as we get a little bit more return flow back down from the south. That's also going to bring some warmer temperatures as we get on into next week. And we'll see highs right back around where we should be this time of year, Mike.
Lance, thanks. New tonight, a 47-year-old woman was shot at a gas station on Thursday, and she has now died from her injuries. It happened at a Conoco near Natural Bridge in Goodfellow. Police found her in a car with a gunshot wound to her head. So far, there have been no arrests, and police have not given us any information on possible suspects. Since January of 2024 through Friday of this year, officers have investigated 263 service calls at that intersection of Natural Bridge and Goodfellow. And we're learning new information about the deadly shooting yesterday at the intersection of Clara and Hebert Street. Police were called to the scene for an accident. They found a flipped car and a 20-year-old man who had been shot. He died at the scene. We have reached out to police, but so far, again, no word on suspects or arrests. A teenager was shot overnight in South St. Louis after a fight at a short-term rental. This happened in the 6500 block of Minnesota. Police say a large fight broke out and several shots were fired. A 17-year-old girl was shot in the knee. She is expected to be okay. If you have any information about these incidents, you're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers. The number is on your screen. It's 866-371-TIPS. On Tuesday, a special election could lead to a sales tax increase to fund road improvements in North St. Louis County. The goal would be to help maintain streets and sidewalks in 17 towns, including Normandy, Pagedale, Wellston, and Velda City. A district-wide sales tax of up to 1% over the next 40 years would be imposed to help fund the plan. Proponents say the increase could generate up to $2 million a year in revenue. Right now, dozens of Democrats in the Texas House of Representatives are in Illinois in an effort to stop a new congressional map vote. This was a plan made with Governor J.B. Pritzker, who directed staff to provide support for their stay. The Texas House was set to vote on a new congressional map that would have given the GOP a path to pick up 5 seats in next year's midterm elections. Now that the Democrats are out of state, there can't be a vote.
The day this corruption ends. Today, the people of the state of Texas have said enough.
Texas Democrats were left no choice but to leave their home state, block a vote from taking place, and protect their constituents.
Texas Democrats face the risk of a $500 a day fine, a measure passed in 2023 after they left the state to block an elections bill. Tonight, after years of reporting about a serial online stalker, there's some hope through a new survey. Robert Merkel was the center of a 5-on-your-side investigation preying on multiple women for years. And one survivor fought back, forming a new task force in Missouri. Our Justina Cornell sat down with her as she shares an important message.
What mental health effects, if any, did you experience as a result of the online harassment?
At her fingertips.
Severe, extremely severe.
It's more than a survey. It's the start of a shift. A survey needed for survivors of stalking.
The psychological ramifications of being harassed multiple times and not having a way to defend yourself, not having a way to stop the harassment, not having control to provide yourself safety is debilitating.
Advocate Angela, who asked us not to identify her last name, was cyberstalked by a complete stranger. Robert Merkel was an IT engineer who had no criminal history at the time.
They were threats to my life. They were threats of rape, and they were very detailed and very disturbing.
In 2017, our I-team learned about 40 women in the area who received threatening text messages from Merkel. In 2018, Merkel was sentenced to prison for harassment, released in 2020 on parole. He didn't stop, though. Women say he continued contacting them, getting arrested again in 2022. Merkel remains behind bars.
There's victims in other states. It escalated horrifically.
Angela faced the flaws when trying to protect herself. Even filing an order of protection became a nightmare. The paperwork meant to protect her would share all her personal information to the stalker, and she had to show proof of distress.
I never got to explain anything, and I was just handed a form that said it was denied. And that was the first time I applied. It took 5 years to get the courage to apply again.
She knew the system needed change. Angela connected with former Senator Jill Shoup and created a bill to form the Stop Cyberstalking and Harassment Task Force. Now they've built a survey.
What are the needs for victim advocates? What are the needs for law enforcement? What are the needs as far as public awareness and education regarding cyberstalking and harassment?
Task Force Chairperson Mark Krakowski is a retired law enforcement officer in St. Louis.
I think one of the biggest gaps that I personally saw over the years when stalking wasn't really being charged, we missed the opportunity to charge stalking, especially in those cases when domestic violence was involved.
Their survey's goal is to fill the gaps.
Sometimes victims feel that they don't have a voice, and this survey is a really good opportunity to give those individuals the opportunity to share their experience.
Voices are needed to fill the void. The survey needs survivors to join Angela, a woman who who never stopped.
Anything to make the world a little bit better and safer. And honestly, those who are trying their hardest but aren't given the right resources to come and help them, help us, it's a privilege.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
And right now, the survey is open and the task force is urging people to fill it out. To find the link, you can head to our website, KSDK.com, and go to the As Seen on TV section.
Two brave boys in a race that's about a lot more than running.
And that's important because why?
Because if we don't, the doctors and nurses and surgeons might not have enough money.
The story behind a friendship and a mission to give back.
It was a Chamber of Commerce style weekend with beautiful weather and great temperatures, but unfortunately, summer is back in the forecast. I've got your latest detailed analysis coming up next.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
2 St. Louis families have turned their children's medical crises into a mission to help others. In tonight's Making a Difference report, how a friendship born from heartbreak is now raising thousands of dollars and giving hope to other local families.
Checkpoint, it's a checkpoint, hurry! Hurry!
Sometimes the happiest moments happen in the hardest places.
No! Oh, no!
This playroom sits on the 4th floor of SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital.
Oh, no! My car!
And these little racers have traveled roads no child should ever have to travel. Oliver Gein's journey here started when he was just 2, on what should have been nothing more than a day at the playground.
And he took off, as children do, and he tumbled, had a little fall, and told me his belly hurt.
A mother's instinct told her this was no ordinary tumble.
The next morning, we got a call from the hospital that said, the radiologist has reviewed your son's x-ray, and he has a mass, and you need to come in immediately.
The diagnosis was hepatoblastoma, a rare liver cancer.
All pediatric cancers are rare, but this is extremely rare. Probably no more than about 100 cases are diagnosed in the United States every year.
Across town, another family's nightmare had started even before birth. One doctor's appointment changed everything.
The difference between looking up nursery things and looking up survival rates.
Luke Newbern was born with a broken heart, literally. His first surgery came at just 9 days old. 6 would follow.
Moving forward, we're just continuing to watch that his heart function, or the squeeze of his heart, stays normal, and that his pacemaker continues to work well.
Bye!
Most families, after surviving the unthinkable, would want to leave this place in the rearview mirror, especially the boys.
Is it hard? What is it when you come to the hospital?
Boring.
Boring.
Oh, no.
But these families chose to run not away from it, but toward it.
I'm a Pepe Auto Wizard. Oh!
We told our friends, instead of sending us a gift card, why don't you join the Sun Run?
Started in 2017, the annual Sun Run gives patient families and hospital staff a chance to join together and raise money for future Cardinal Glennon families.
My company said, hey, do you want to kind of spear up this for our team and be the captain? And I said, absolutely.
Ollie's train, Luke's Skywalkers. 2 teams, 1 mission, and 1 path that brought them together.
Through the foundation, I was connected to Jennifer, and we were able to just instantly bond over the experiences we had.
A friendship forged in the fire of shared understanding.
We can relate to each other in an unspoken way through the grief, obviously, that we've had to process, both personally and as families.
Together, their Sun Run teams have raised more than $135,000.
And that's important because why?
Because if we don't, the doctors and nurses and surgeons might not have enough money or
to
supplies.
We need to get a bunch of supplies to help the kids battle.
He loves the friend aspect now that he's a little older.
2 mothers who once feared the worst now help others find their way through it.
Life is very unpredictable, and the gift we had is we live each day to the fullest now because we really don't know what tomorrow brings.
Surviving is often just the beginning. The real victory comes when your scars become someone else's roadmap to hope.
This year's Sun Run is coming up on October 12th, and for more information, you can go to this story on our website. And a reminder, if you know someone making a difference for others, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com. All right, now to a live look at downtown St. Louis, where it's been feeling a little like autumn, but those lower temperatures are not here to stay. Meteorologist Lance Blocker rejoins us now with the weather impact forecast.
Yeah, we've got some changes ahead, Mike, unfortunately, and it's going to feel more like summer as we get through the end of next week, but still enjoy the great temperatures tomorrow while they last. For us right now, overnight tonight, temperatures will fall through the 60s. They're not going to budge too much, really, from this mark right now. We're getting closer to the dew points, right around 60, 61, 62. So it'll be a little bit cool overnight tonight, not as chilly as what we saw last night. And I say chilly, seasonably chilly for us here for the first part of August. Tomorrow's highs, they should be right around 90. That's the average high this time of year. We'll only top out in the low 80s for most locations here in Missouri. But only the upper 70s to the east. The cloud cover will be a little bit more dense, so a little bit more difficult for that to warm up there, and maybe even the chance for a stray shower or two. In fact, this is one of the forecast models, the high resolution forecast model, and it will show us what we expect the radar to maybe look like a little bit overnight tonight and tomorrow to give us a better chance of where the idea, or a better idea of where the better chance of rain will be tomorrow. So again, overnight tonight, things are nice and quiet, maybe a stray sprinkle here or there. Nothing too major at all. As we move through the daytime hours tomorrow, a few isolated showers on the east side over towards in Illinois, maybe a 20 to 30% chance of rain. Nothing too widespread. I would not be surprised to see a brief shower push as far west as St. Louis, maybe St. Charles, but the better chance definitely locking in Illinois. So overall, a very quiet day tomorrow, but it's the first day we've had even a chance of rain in quite some time. And that's because of that area of high pressure off along the Great Lakes region. That is beginning to push out. It's also beginning to weaken as well. So those nice cool temperatures we've enjoyed, that's also thanks to that high pressure, at least to flow around it. That will begin to weaken over the days ahead. That means that we're going to warm up as well. Again, for us, 82 tomorrow, but we're in the mid 80s by Tuesday, upper 80s as we move through the rest of the week. So we're returning back to where we should be for this time of year. The good news is I think we're going to escape the extreme heat from what we saw just a couple of weeks ago where heat index values were in the low 100s. I don't expect to see that as an issue, but definitely enjoy the temperatures tomorrow. If you get a chance to be outside, again, it's our last real day of that taste of fall. Maybe grab lunch outside. I don't think you'll have any impacts rain-wise. Only about a 20% chance of rain for any one given location. Looking ahead again, high temperatures return back to the upper 80s. Summer returns on Thursday, highs into the low 90s.
Time to go on the move. I'm Paul Cook, your traffic guy from Today in St. Louis with a heads up about a major construction project. Big changes are coming to I-64 in St. Clair County as a major road project has already kicked off. Lane closures are in place in both directions of I-64 between Illinois 159 and 1 mile east of the West Highway 50 near Greenmount Road. That work is expected to continue through late fall of 2025. Then it's on to bridge repairs this fall, finishing by the summer of 2026. After that, the final stretch is resurfacing between Illinois 157 and 159. This will start in the spring and wraps up next summer. When completed, the $76 million project will put new asphalt on a 7-mile stretch of I-64 from Caseyville to Shiloh. So plan ahead and give yourself a little extra time. You'll want to be patient with those crews because this is a long-term investment in a smoother, safer I-64. Stay safe. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
A stunning sight over Sydney. Tens of thousands flood a major bridge in a massive protest. The message behind the movement just ahead. Take a look at this drone video over the famous Harbour Bridge in Sydney, Australia, as 90,000 people gathered for a pro-Palestine protest. The protest closed down the bridge for hours. Police were caught off guard because they thought there would only be about 10,000 people, but almost 10 times that amount showed up, and it overwhelmed officers. The protest remained peaceful. Nobody was hurt. One protester says it was not just about the numbers in closing down the bridge.
protests, the idea of a protest is to cause disruption, and that's why closing the Harbour Bridge, that's why they did it, to cause disruption. But it's not, we shouldn't be focusing on the closing of the Harbour Bridge, we should be focusing on why people are protesting.
And this protest comes less than a week after Australia and dozens of other countries expressed the intention to recognize the state of Palestine. President Trump's new tariffs are set to go into effect this week. Universal tariffs will stay at 10% for countries where the U.S. runs a trade surplus. Countries with which the U.S. has a trade deficit will be subject to a 15% tariff. More than a dozen countries have tariffs higher than 15%, either because they agreed to a trade framework or the president sent them a letter warning of higher tariffs. Many economists say U.S. consumers will pick up at least some of the tab from these global tariffs. Coming up, how a 5-year-old legislative act will save you money at the Arch tomorrow. Well, if you're a fan of the outdoors, tomorrow's a great day to visit a national park. Tomorrow is Great American Outdoors Day, and visitors at the Gateway Arch will get their convenience fee waived on tram tickets. The holiday is to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Great American Outdoors Act. The Department of Interior calls it the largest investment in public lands in American history. Wave-riding canines competed in the 2025 World Dog Surfing Championship this weekend. The annual contest brings thousands of fans to a San Francisco beach to watch the participating pooches. The judging is based on how long dogs can remain on boards and how long they can hold their balance and whether they perform any tricks like turning around while riding the waves. We want to congratulate Kako. He was the overall champion, the Surfer Dog of the Year. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. Remember, we're always streaming on 5+. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And Sports Plus with Frank Cusavano is next.